Hey Jackals! In today's DaVinci Resolve video, we'll take a look how we can freeze a subject inside an action scene by making a copy of it and then seamlessly continue playing the video when the subject overlaps with its copy. Now let's get digital. So this can be done in a couple of ways and I'll show you a few examples and what the video should be. So in this example, we have someone that's jumping with a BMX and this is how the base effect will look like. The next one is similar. We also have a BMX, but this one has a lot more issues with selection. As you can see, the bike disappears here. And this will all depend on the method that you use when you make the selections. Now this example clearly indicates what the video should not look like. So in this case, basically the subject is in the center position all of the time. And that is what you don't want. So ideally, the video will look like this. The subject or an object will be on the left or the right side, and they don't overlap when they make the movement. So how you will do this? You have a couple of options. First, what you'll want to do is find a point where you want to freeze frame. So let's say, in this case, this will be the point. I'll make a copy, hold Alt and simply drag the clip. Then you need to freeze frame, so Ctrl R, or you can right click and go to Retime Controls. Then simply click on the drop down arrow and select freeze frame. Now I'll simply move it to the start position, which is here, and extend this point to go beyond my playhead, and then I'll simply crop it to the beginning and to my playhead. Now this clip is basically the freeze frame, and once it comes to the end, the bottom clip will start playing. Now to make this effect so that we see the animation beneath it, we have to actually cut out the subject. In this case, I'll go to the color page. You have two ways how to do this. You can do it manually by going to the power window and select the pen tool. You'll then have to zoom in and make the selection. I'll just do a quick one. So something like that. Then you need to right click, add alpha output and connect it. So now I basically have the animation beneath it and the effect that looks like this. Now this is not done and it can look better, and we'll fix that in a bit because you can see that this clip is actually beneath the cutout subject. And we can fix that by overlapping it again, maybe at this point, so that this subject will then overlap on top of this one. Now the second way how you can cut out a subject or an object in the color page is to not use the power window, but to use Magic Mask, but this is only available in the studio version. So the Magic Mask selected, you also need to use the alpha output, click on the plus, make an outline, this is selected. You can see what the mask is by enabling this button. And you can make some adjustments. Maybe like that. Now the magic mask is not magic. It won't make the best results all of the time. In this case I have object mask selected. Let's see what it does if I use a person mask. But I have to use the plus. So in this case, as you can see, the person mask is actually worse than the object mask. So in this case, I would use this one. And when I go into the edit page, now what I have to do in this case is to start overlapping from this point on. So I'll copy this video clip to the video track tree, crop it to this point, and then I basically have to cut it at the end of this one. So like this. And because this is now a whole clip, I have to go back into the color page and use the pen tool on every frame. So you would basically make an outline like that, go to a new frame, but in this case you have to go to the tracker and click on frame, make the adjustments. Now why you have to use frame and not the clip is because if you use clip, then the mask will be the same throughout the whole clip. So just make a quick mask, go to the frame so you don't have any issues. So this is basically it, but again we have to use an alpha output to connect the mask. Actually, I have to select the right clip, so it's this one, alpha output, and make a mask. And then once this will render out, the effect will basically be like this. Now, as you can see, the mask is not great, at least not at the start, so I'd have to go back and fix it. But the idea is that if you have a nice looking mask, this will overlap just fine. Now doing this manually sucks. So I'll remove this and go to the magic mask. Simply make a selection. This is object selected. And now I can simply track it. And it did a pretty decent job. So let's see how it looks like. A couple of issues here, so I think this is okay. So you can do it like this. It's a little bit more work, especially if you have to do it manually to overlap the action scene above, but you can have the action scene below the freeze frame. Now to make this in the fusion composition, I'll make a copy of this video and duplicate just the video because I don't need two audios. Then you'll want to select just the videos, right click, make a new fusion composition or a new fusion clip, go into the fusion page. Now the media one is this one and it will be in the back, and the media 2 is, well, this one, and it will be in the front. Again, you want to find the position where you want this to be freeze framed, so maybe something like that. Use a polygon, which will basically do what we did in the beginning, so basically manually mask out the shape. So we have this. Now if we play this, it's not what we want, so what we can do is use a, let's see, time speed node, connect it here, and we want the speed to be 0 because we want this to be still, and we want this to delay for 66 frames. So now basically we'll have this continuously, as you can see, and now we only need to fade this away. So at frame 66 we can go into the merge node, go to blend, keyframe this value, and frame 67 will simply lower the value to 0. Now it looks the same as the first step that we did, where the action scene is on the bottom, and if you want to overlap this so it's on the top as well, well, guess what you have to do? You will have to take this video, put it on the top with the merge node, so this will be on the top, this will then be the background, so it's something like this. But now we'll have to basically keyframe. Let me just lower the opacity, so the blend. So now I'll basically have to, maybe from this point on, make a mask with another polygon. I won't connect it just yet, so I can see what I'm doing. But basically, maybe at the start, I can make a polygon like this. Next keyframe, as you can see, this is now keyframed. I'll just move the position of the points, which is a little bit easier than it was in the color page. And you have to overlap how you think this should overlap. So the right arm would go into the front, but the left arm would not go in the front, so I'm keeping it behind the back. And the same would go with the legs. So the right one would go in the front, but the left one will go in the back. And I'm simply doing this quickly because doing it manually is a pain in the butt. So this is basically done, and this has to be connected to the media out now, and set the blend to maximum. So something like that. Now this is how you can do it in the Fusion page. Out of all of the methods, it is the most time consuming, but it can also give you the best result. And that's how you can freeze a subject or an object inside an action scene and continue seamlessly playing it once the subject overlaps with its copy. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification icon to know when the next video comes out. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackals, keep it digital.